Hello everyone! In this video, let's talk about some important aspects of special education and EFL teaching. Special education is a form of inclusive learning environment provided to students with exceptional needs, such as students with sensory, mental, physical, and emotional disabilities. These students are unique persons because all of them has their strengths and capacities that we as teachers must potentialize, making some adjustments in the teaching, considering their ways and styles of learning, motivating their progress, and being empathetic, respectful, and very patient in order to motivate their learning. Additionally, special education has become a prominent field because it provides inclusive classrooms, and most of the teachers always try to do their best to meet the needs of their students. The UNESCO has defined that special education is designed to facilitate the learning of individuals who, for a variety of reasons, require additional support and adaptive pedagogical methods to participate and meet the learning objectives. Therefore, it's very important that teachers apply meaningful strategies, interactive activities, and use suitable teaching methods in order to develop the students' skills and get a meaningful learning.
Let's talk about the types of disabilities. First of all, what is a disability? A disability is any condition that affects the body or the brain, and it makes more difficult for the people with this condition to interact with other people or to do certain activities. There are 5 main types of disabilities. The first group is the sensory disabilities. The sensory disabilities can involve any of the 5 senses, but for educational purposes, it generally refers to a disability to hearing, vision, or both hearing and related vision. In this group, I have the blindness and low vision, deafness and loss of hearing, sensory processing disorder, and deafblindness. The next group is the mental disabilities. The mental disabilities are conditions that affect your thinking, feeling, mood, and behavior. In this group, I have the anxiety disorders, depression, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, eating disorders, disruptive behavior and social disorders, neurodevelopmental disorders. The next group, the physical disabilities. Physical disabilities, also known as mobility disabilities, refer to any condition that affects an individual's body movement and control. In this group, I have the cerebral palsy, stroke, spina bifida, arthritis, spinal cord injury, epilepsy, muscular dystrophy. The next group is the emotional disabilities. An emotional or behavioral disability is a disability that impacts a person's ability to effectively recognize, interpret, control, and express fundamental emotion. In this group, I have the anxiety disorders, bipolar disorder, conduct disorders, eating disorders, obsessive-compulsive disorders, psychotic disorders. The last group is the developmental disabilities. Developmental disabilities are a group of conditions due to an impairment in physical, learning, language, or behavior areas. In this group, I have the autism spectrum disorder, cerebral palsy, fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, Down syndrome, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorders. Let's continue talking more about the disabilities.
Let's talk about the types of disability that could affect the language learning. First of all, A language learning disability is a neurological disorder to alter brain function to process and understand information. It could affect a person's ability to write, to read, to listen, to speak, and to do maths. The common areas of difficulties for students with language disabilities are reading, auditory processing, oral comprehension, oral expression, writing, and math. The common disabilities are dysgraphia. Frequently, these students have troubles to form letters and writing. Dyslexia. Basically, the students have difficulty to recognize familiar words. Auditory processing disorder. This disability could influence in the language learning disability to listen to and understand spoken language. The sounds is difficult to understand. Visual processing disorder. Frequently, students confuse similar words, have a poor reading comprehension, and make mistakes of copying. Autism spectrum disorder. This disability can affect the language learning disability since there are limitations in the cognitive functions skills, including conceptual, social, and practical skills. Attention deficit hyperactivity. This difficulty is the students who don't pay attention in class and affect the process of teaching. In conclusion, that teachers need to participate with effective and productive activities where the students achieve their curricular objectives.
There are a few reasons why teaching and learning challenges in a foreign language could be problematic. The hardness in communication and cognition must be understood. Learning a new linguistic system that has sounds, symbols, rules, and meanings that are dissimilar from those of their native language can be challenging for children who have disabilities, such as phonological, spelling, syntactic, or semantic issues. People who have trouble hearing or speaking clearly may have trouble understanding spoken language. The principal reason could be the inability to recognize the distinguish between visual symbols, letters, and auditory sounds, phonemes, in a foreign language, which can confuse students when trying to read and pronounce words accurately, and impede their understanding and development of vocabulary. This is a reason why dyslexic or dysgraphic students may also have difficulties with spelling and grammar in both native and foreign language. Another reason is for students with auditory processing disorders, APD, and processing disorders who have unique challenges when learning another language due to the nature of their difficulties in processing and understanding auditory information. Learning a foreign language requires listening to and comprehending new sounds and vocabulary. They have difficulty with auditory processing disorders, which do not permit them to reproduce the correct pronunciation of foreign language sounds and reduce their confidence in speaking the language. Thank you. Now we continue with the last topic.
Teaching English to students with special educational needs, SEN, can be a gratifying but challenging job. To effectively teach English to SEN students, consider implementing these two helpful ideas. Idea number 1, differentiated instructions. Implement an individual study plan developed for each SEN student, based on their specific needs and abilities. This may include adjusting the bounds of teaching, providing alternative assignments or assessments, or providing additional support when needed. Simplify the language and adjusting instructions breaking down complex sentences and vocabulary into simpler ones. Use clear and concise language, and avoid idiomatic expressions or figurative language that may be confusing. Idea number 2, visual support. Visual aids such as charts, graphs, images, and videos can help to reinforce vocabulary and concepts. Displaying a visual timetable can also help students know what to expect during the day, reducing anxiety and improving their abilities to make a transition between their activities. And remember, establishing a supportive and inclusive classroom environment is essential to effectively teaching English to students with special educational needs.